For your viewing delectation, I'd like to introduce you guys to a new Garmin dive computer. Now, it feels like only a couple of weeks ago that I was introducing the Garmin X50i to the channel, a product that I really kind of like. And one of our most popular videos to date has been the review that we did 18 months ago or so of the Garmin Descent G1. And so now Garmin have trumped us and come out with the Descent G2. Oh my God, am I excited about this product? I really am. I don't know how I can portray this to you. Now, I'm an MK series diver and I love the MK series, but I'm particularly fond of the G series because it's hitting a sweeter price point and it's competing in a much more competitive marketplace. And so it really has to nail it in order to be successful. So let's have a little look at the G1. So the G1 is based off the new Instinct 3 smartwatch multi-sport watch thingy that Garmin does. And we know that what Garmin does do is their dive watches are based off a land-based product. So the Descent MK series is based off the Fenix, but with blah, 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 blah. So the Instinct 3. Now the Instinct 3 comes in two sizes. It comes in a 45 and a 51mm form factor. And I kind of like the bigger one, if I'm honest. But the Descent G2 only comes in the 45mm case. So it's hitting that sweet point for younger divers, female divers, or those that don't want a massive slab of glass permanently on their wrist. It comes in two colorways, both black and this color it calls Paloma with a pink strap. And I'm not going to say it's aimed at the ladies, although I'm pretty sure it is aimed at the ladies. It's actually pretty cool. I like it. I like the Paloma color, and I think replace the strap with something a bit more gender neutral or not. And it's actually a really nice color as opposed to just hard black. But it still does look very much like a Casio G-Shock. So walking down the street with your dive computer on, somebody might think, oh, it's got a cheap G-Shock. Although G-Shocks are not that cheap anymore, are they? Anyway, so what does it have? What are the features that it have that I'm really kind of excited about and that I like? Well, for the first thing, the G1 and the Instinct 2 had a monochrome LCD screen. Really bright, really easy to see when you're diving, but now they've switched it to a 1.2-inch AMOLED display, 390 by 390 pixels. It's touchscreen, swipey, like the MK3, like the X50. I kind of like that for being able to navigate it around on land. Now, if you're going to ask me, like on the X50 video, how's that going to work underwater? I hear you say. And the answer is, it won't. It's not designed to work underwater. It's still got the 5 buttons, 3 on one side, 2 on the other, just the same as the G1, just the same as the MK series. And if you know the Garmin navigation, really easy to work your way through. It's depth rated to 10 atmospheres. So kind of 100 meters or so is what they're suggesting. We all know that's 80 to 90 meters probably, but let's be honest, it's a dive computer that is aimed more at the recreational market, more at the sports utility market. And how often are you going to be going down that deep anyway, particularly with a small form factor of a G2? But it comes with a whole lot of wellness and fitness functions in the same way as all of the other Garmin Descent series computers do. So if you're into an active lifestyle, whether it's walking, running, swimming, cycling, horseback riding, yada, 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 all those other amazing things, including golf. We have a lot of golf courses here on Carriacou. We're able to go out and play 9 or 18 holes of golf whenever we like, and all of those maps are absolutely on the app. No, we don't. One of the things I do quite like, though, and this is kind of coming into the heart part piece, is that it's made of recycled plastics, and that's kind of nice. It's kind of sensitive. I'm sure there is a cost advantage to doing it, but it's a nice. I like it. I'm sorry. I think that it's useful to take some of that plastic out of the ocean, or the plastic that would potentially go into the ocean, and recycle, reuse it, and stick it on somebody's wrist. The battery is another interesting factor. The battery on the original Garmin Descent G1 was eon spanning. You could typically get 28 days between charges out of that bad boy on a balanced load of diving and normal recreational stuff. With the G2, you're more likely to only get about 10 days of battery out of this, and less if you're doing a lot of diving. So it means that you could go away for a long weekend or maybe even a 4 or 5 day liveaboard without taking the computer charger with you. But the reality is that you're never going to be far away from a charging cable, just to make sure you can keep topping it up. How does that compare with the MK2, MK3? Well, I don't dive with the MK3, I dive with the MK2, and I typically charge this up about once every 10 days. So it's about the same, I imagine. The G2 also has 4 gigabytes of internal storage, and that's geared at being able to hook up to the Garmin Dive app and load down some maps or some tide data or some additional apps that you might want. On the MK series, you can also, because it's got 32 gig, load up some music and connect it to your earpods and go from there. But that's a feature that wasn't on the G1, it's not on the G2. Are you necessarily going to miss it? The 3D compass is great. It's nice, it's clear, and I particularly like it in dive mode. Actually, what I really like, which the G1 had, but in LCD format, is the fact that as you cycle through the different screens on dive mode, it's just the top part that cycles, and the bottom continues to have your dive time and NDL. I really like that. That's a nice, neat way of cycling through the menus. But the compass, really good. It's GPS connected and GNSS connected, which means that it'll be fairly accurate all the time as long as you continue to connect it to the satellites. With that multi-GNSS connectivity and support, getting you really accurate GPS location data regardless of where you are in the world. And coming along with that then is the Garmin Tides app, which I find amazing. This will tell you for your specific location when you're going to get high tide, low tide, and what the rate of change is between high and low tide, which will give you an indication as to how strong that current is likely to be. The modes that it's got are exactly the same as the MK series and the G1, which means that you get your full raft of diving modes from single gas, multi-gas, CCR support, and gauge apnea. I specifically like, now I'm not an apnea diver, but I specifically like a pooled apnea mode, which allows you to switch into almost like a training mode, and it'll help you work out what's the next level that you should be aiming for. So if you are a free diver or you're a practicing free diver, then that pool apnea mode will probably be useful to you, as well as having a whole bunch of other customizable apps or activities that you can include in there, including walking, cycling, riding, boating, and it'll pick up all of the key facets. Now, I particularly use this when I'm on the boat and I want to see how fast we're going before I shout, "Oi, Shaq, slow down!" I can see how fast we're going. So I guess, fundamentally what I'm saying, I'm really quite excited about this G2 product. It has a lot of the features that the MK series has, with the exception of AI. If you want AI, you still have to go to an MK series. But it has a lot of the features that the MK series has, with a nice, clear, crisp AMOLED display, the swipey that you can get on the MK3 and on the X50, all for $700. Now, $700, that's putting you into Tern and Sunto Ocean territory. That's a competitive marketplace, but I think Garmin might just be able to pull this off. It's a good looking product. Tell me below what your thoughts are, having had a first look at the G2. At $700, would you be tempted? Or would you prefer to go with the Tern or the Ocean? Give me your thoughts. Anyway, thanks for watching this video right to the end. I appreciate it enormously. The team here appreciate it enormously. Splash down on the subscribe, hit like, please, and let us know what your thoughts are on this new G2. Stay diving, guys. See you soon.